know you don't like to compliment the group you go against every day in fall camp, but what do you think about the improvement that group can have even going into this year? That leads you to believe they can be even better.
So you're talking about our DBs, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, they definitely made a lot of strides. I saw it starting in the spring, and then going against them in fall camp, you can definitely see a difference in terms of athleticism and coverage indicators. They do a lot of good things, as a defense, especially in secondary. And so, I'm excited to see what they can do this year. We got a lot of guys back there who can make some plays for us.
So as you look back at last year, the start you guys had against Hawaii, was there something that you guys feel you can fix this time and make sure that you get out to that better start?
I just don't get in the way of ourselves. I think last year a lot of times in all three phases we kind of hurt ourselves in different ways. And whenever you want to be a great team, you have to limit your mistakes, especially self-inflicted ones. And so this year, especially in this first game, when you come out, you want to make sure you have all your substitutions, offense, defensively, special teams. You want that to go well and smooth, and you just want to make sure everyone knows what they're doing, what their assignment is on each play. Because if you make it harder on yourself, then it just makes it easier for the opponent.
Sefo, how do you like opening the season with a rivalry game at Mile High down in Denver where the fan bases are split? Does that get your juices going, or is it just another game?
To me, it's just another game. It doesn't really matter kind of who we line up against in week one. It's just another game to me. It's not to disrespect anyone, but whoever you put in front of me, I'm going to go out there and play my best and treat each game like it's a championship game, because each week you want to go 1-0 and do your best against whoever you line up against.
So, but one of the things that Nelson had preached repeatedly during his time here, during our press conferences, was winning routes. Knowing that CSU secondary lost some kids to graduation, they have one returning starter. What are your expectations for your receivers to win their routes against their secondary this game?
I expect them to win their routes. We have a great group of receivers, and it's no disrespect to the CSU DBs. They're great DBs over there, but I just expect, my receivers to get open and to make the plays when the time arises. And I also expect myself to, put the ball in such a way that, my receivers can catch it and make a play after the catch. And so, we just want to go out there and make plays. I don't care how good the DBs are on the other side. I expect our receivers, because they're a great group of receivers from Devin to Shea to Bobo and all the other receivers that are going to play in this game coming in the rest of the season. I just expect them to get open.
How much more comfortable are you with the tweaks in the offense, things that you might not have learned last spring, and how long into camp did it take you to reach that comfort level?
I'd say pretty quickly. I kind of learned the, nuances and tweaks, as you put it, that came into the game plan. There weren't big changes. I think there's a misconception. There's a lot of different mind-blowing things we put in on offense. But, for the most part, I'm really comfortable with what we're doing, especially the game plan going in this week. There's a lot of good things that we have that we feel like we can use against CSU. And so I'm pretty excited to do all that and just basically get back out there and play again.
Sefo, what have you seen from Bryce Bobo this preseason? And since Juwan Winfrey went down, do you sense maybe he's looking at this as a challenge to accept?
Yeah, definitely. Bryce has definitely stepped up since Juwan got injured, which was an unfortunate event. But Bobo's definitely stepped up in the mid to later part of the camp when Juwan went down, and he took majority of the reps after that. And he's gone out there and made some plays. He's made some plays down the field. He's been blocking for our running backs, and so he's done a lot of great things, and he's definitely stepped up to the plate for this offense.
Sefo, I talked to Shea, and he said he thought he sensed a little more urgency out of you this year in fall camp. And Tedrick called you a dog, which I assume was a positive thing to say. But as you enter this final season, your senior year, your last chance to leave a legacy here, is your approach any different, or how are you approaching this your final season?
I don't think it's different. I just think there may be a heightened sense of focus. When you realize that it's kind of twofold for me. When you break your foot, then there's an opportunity that you can't play again. There's a realization setting in of you can't play again. And then when I get blessed and I'm able to come back and play this year, and it's also my senior year, there's also the realization of there's only so many snaps left of college football for me, and you never know when you or anyone else could get hurt again, and it's done. Because anything with football or anything in life can be taken from you, and I think a lot of times we take it for granted. So there's definitely a heightened sense of focus for me, and definitely holding more people accountable on offense, because I realize how good we can be. all across the board. And so I just think I should hold myself and everyone accountable because I know what we can accomplish and we have high goals of ourselves. And if you don't hold yourself and others accountable, then you won't ever reach those goals.
The offensive line came under a little bit of heat last year. What have you seen from the guys up front? Do you like the progress they've made?
Yeah, it's tough to hold my offensive line accountable, you know, when you have 23 or so different lineups up there and you're juggling everyone around. And so, you know, for the situations that they were put in last year, you know, I believe they did a really good job. And, you know, I've been really impressed this fall camp with how they've been working. We've got a great group of guys in the ones group. And then even if there's someone who goes down, there's some guys who can step up and play and, you know, open up some holes for the running backs and let me go back there and get the ball to our playmakers. And so I've been really impressed. You know, Jeremy Irwin's been a great leader up there. You know, Jared Coe's been pitching into and leading some of those young guys. And so, you know, I expect a lot from them, especially up front in the running game.
People who analyze this team say that you've got more important pieces around you, better talent, et cetera, whereas in the past you might not have had that and you tried to do too much on occasion. Do you feel like that you tried to do too much on occasion?
Yeah, definitely. At times we were in tight situations, whether it be, well, most of the time it was when we were down by a couple points, and I think I tried to get it all back at once, which is can get you into trouble a lot, and that's where I think it was 2 seasons ago where you can get a lot of those interceptions and poor decision making even that came in even the last year. And so, you know, it's a realization of myself that you don't have to do it all, and that you have playmakers around you, and you just got to make whatever the defense gives you, you just take it. If it's a flat to the running back, just give it to him and let him go make the play. You know, he's a better runner than I am. You know, there's guys on this team that can make plays now, and so instead of trying to go for, you know, the big one downfield, you know, it's not always the best move.
Does having a better defense kind of help you out as well on offense? Feel like you don't have to do as much because defense isn't bad early in your career?
Yes, yeah, there's definitely that comfort blanket, I guess, you know, to know that we have a defense that's so strong. But you know, on the vice versa side, I think that having a good defense as well also pushes the offense. You know, this fall camp we've got a lot of great battles against the defense, tempo-wise, 2-minute drill, you know, all these different situations. And you know, I think ultimately too, you just got to focus on the offense. That's kind of how we have to look at it. You know, for whatever reason, for instance, if the offense that we're going or our defense is going against schemes them somehow and scores a lot of points, you know, that's why we have to focus on ourselves. And you know, if they score 50 points, then we have to score 51 plus points. You know, I think that we have a great defense, and I expect them to, you know, stop the opposing offenses. But I think on the offensive side, we have to, you know, make sure that we do our own job, and so that we just do some great things as a team.
Sefo, when you get out there and finally take that first snap in front of the live crowd, live game, all that kind of stuff, is that going to be a sense of relief? Are you going to be nervous, butterflies? Describe what it's going to be like after being out for 10 months.
I'm not wearing a visor this year, so I'll probably be smiling and you'll probably see it. You know, it's probably be a relief. You know, I think if you would have asked me, I don't know, a couple of days, a week after I broke my foot, you know, I would have just been like, I don't know if I'm going to make it back. You know, I just want to take it one day at a time. And so to be in the position that I'm in and to know that I made it is a great feeling. You know, there'll be some butterflies. You know, I'm excited. You know, I want to go back out there and play. But, you know, for the most part, I'll be locked in and ready to play with my teammates.
This is your third time actually playing against CSU, and I know you guys just take it week by week, but is there a staple of what they do that stands out to you on the field? I guess, for example, like in Oregon, you know, everyone talks about their speed. Is there something CSU sort of, you sense, builds their team around?
You know, it's my third time playing against them, and, you know, for me, I know a lot of people make a whole bunch about the rivalry and everything, but they're a good team, you know, as much as people want to look down upon them. I mean, CSU is a really tough team, especially on defense. Those front seven guys that they have, you know, especially their linebacking core, especially last year they had some great guys, and, you know, every year they play us tough. You know, it's a rivalry game. You know, up front they're strong. They've got some returners up there as well, and so, you know, I expect a battle. You know, I expect us to do well and execute our operation on offense, but you know, I expect a battle. You know, they're not just going to roll over and let us win.
You have lofty goals as a team a year ago. You have lofty goals this year. What's the difference that's pushing you from what last year was to what you want to do this year?
I kind of mentioned it earlier, but the ability to hold people accountable and for those guys to be okay with people yelling at them or having constructive criticism for them. You know, people have held me accountable. You know, there was a string during practice where I missed a bunch of throws. And I was getting down on myself, and that's when all the old linemen and then Philip, you know, were telling me, you know, just calm down, you know, just make the throws, you know, go through your reads. And so it's that kind of, you know, coaches can only do so much. You know, they can put you in the right scheme, you know, to break apart a defense or the offense. And it also ultimately comes down to the players and being able to make plays and being able to hold each other accountable so that everyone's doing the right scheme and everyone's basically doing their job, because we have a talented enough team. We had a talented enough team last year. This just all comes down to holding each other accountable and being consistent and being able to make those plays when the opportunity arises.
Any more questions for Sefo?
Why no visor? Why no visor?
I don't know. I think I needed something different last year, and this year it's not necessary. You know, it's just a quote unquote swag, I guess, for people. I don't need it this year. You know, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it.
Never said from a player standpoint, you're just kind of treating this game as just another game, but do you kind of feel the buzz on campus leading to this game against CSU?
I don't think so. You know, I think, especially for myself, you know, I took my Twitter down. You know, it's about blocking the noise out. When I go on campus, it's about school. You know, because you know we're student athletes as well, and so there may be a buzz about campus. You know, I'm not really sure, but I'm just focused on my teammates, the coaching staff, and everyone part of the program, because you know it is a big game. You know, it's the first game of the year, and you want to start off on the right foot, and so. There may be a buzz, but I'm just focused on myself and my teammates.
All right. Thank you, Sefo.
Thank you.